Ladies and gents and friends beyond, welcome to Tavern Chat with your host, Dave the Bard. Grab a drink, have a seat, and let's have a chat. I know this is a bit of a different vibe than usual, not as explosive, not as exciting, but I wanted to talk about something that I feel is important to discuss, especially as I see more and more people bring it up recently. Scrolling through Twitter a couple days ago, I saw one of my friends talking about their feelings on streaming. They had grown to be a sizable creator, gaining a ton of followers, releasing merch, and even getting partnered with various companies and what have you. However, at what seemed to be a very exciting time in their content journey, they had to step back from content creation and focus on real-life stuff. They were supported by their community in this decision, and they went off into the world. Only recently, after what feels like years, did they return to social media. But their opinion on streaming and content creation had changed. They tweeted, "After watching the streaming scene from the outside looking in, I don't think I have a desire to go back." A lot of the people in the replies shared a similar sentiment, and one comment got me thinking. It said, "It's just not the same thing a lot of us fell in love with years ago, to be honest." More and more in the past few months, I'm sure you've seen one or more of your favorite creators saying that it was finally time to throw in the towel after so many years of creating content. Their departures have been a knife in the heart for many a dedicated and loving fans, as they realize that a significant chapter of their life has ended. I'm sure a number of people have felt the same way over the years, watching their childhood favorites step back from content creation for one reason or another. I know there were tears in my household when Jenna Marbles made her announcement. However, it should be noted that for a lot of these creators, it wasn't the end of their career, just the end of a chapter. A little bit closer to home, one of my buddies, in a now deleted tweet, talked about the stresses of balancing work, family, and streaming, and how important it was for him to make sure that his family, above all, was a priority through it all. The amount of friends I've seen dealing with a situation similar to this, whether it's balancing content with school, or work with family, or friendships with passion projects, I know personally that I've always struggled with keeping focused on multiple projects at the same time, which can be especially stressful when some of those projects are maintaining contact with close friends, people that you've known for 20-something years, or progressively getting better at creating the best YouTube content you can. Having too many projects can cause everything to fall apart, and you'll be right back at the start without a whole lot to show for it. Looking at my projects, looking at the passions and plans and things that I want to try to do, and the things I need to stay on top of, I came upon an interesting observation, inspired by the YouTuber MatPat. After 13 years, MatPat finally stepped back from the Theory channels, which he had been running for, 13 years, handing off the reins to some new hosts that would be able to drive the channels into the future. This was personally one of the exits that hit me the hardest, until I discovered that he was working on other projects. Not necessarily content creation, but a fashion show. You may have seen images of it online. This reminded me that just because a YouTuber is no longer making YouTube videos, it doesn't mean that they're dead or something. Many creators will actually go from creating a digital product in the form of YouTube videos to making merch, selling courses on the lessons that they've learned, or even making music under a different name, allowing them to completely cut ties with a previous persona known around the internet. You may know who I'm referring to with that one. But they're still able to be passionate to create, just in a different format for a different audience. For some, this is the way to go. This is their new way to express themselves in a creative format that allows them to share their talents and interests to the world. For others, they recognize that they've had their time in the online space. They take their final bow and actually do step away, deciding to focus more on personal growth in a smaller, more intimate space with friends and family. They haven't stopped creating necessarily, but their goals for how to see growth in themselves have changed to allow them privacy and peace. Because sometimes reading that someone got first comment on a video 67 times on the same video can get a little exhausting. What I'm trying to say is that content creation, or really any creative pursuit, hell, any phase of life that you happen to be in, has a beginning and an end. Many of my friends are content creators in their own right. Are they going to be content creators until they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way into retirement and beyond? Survey says, not likely. Each of them is going to find a way to be expressive, to be creative, and share their talents. Maybe some of them will step away from content creation, only to come back in a year or two, renewed and refreshed. Some may find their stride with content and start growing and growing, proving to themselves that their focus and drive is best utilized behind a microphone or in front of a camera. Some may explore related paths, such as music, art, becoming a business person and starting a new venture, whether it's related to their content or not. And some may work hard at growing their content, building an audience, and ultimately decide that content creation is not their end goal. It was an important step, something that helped them grow, but their journey lies elsewhere. There is nothing wrong with this. Everyone has their own journey, something I've said many times before. I don't know where my journey is planning on taking me, but I can't wait to see what it holds. Along the way, I plan to watch and observe and learn from as many people as I can. People who are wiser, more experienced, more confident in the world. I also plan to learn from people who tend to act rashly or without planning, full impulse, send it, firing on all cylinders, aiming in no particular direction. Both educational and fun to watch. So no matter where you are in life, as you try to figure out what's next, try to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, recognize that you are on a journey, whether it's the beginning of a chapter or coming to the end of one with a new chapter right around the corner. You have so much to explore, so much to try out, and so much to learn. And I hope you'll be willing to share what you learn with me. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to have a chat, reach out to me on Twitter @DaveTheBard_, or leave a comment over on YouTube. Have a lovely day. Make sure to tip your waiters and waitresses. And I'll talk to you next time on Tavern Chat.